Mark. We have the three in the last 20 years of this franchise. Tobey Maguire, who of course started it all with the first three Spider-Man. Hi, Tobey.
Hello.
The pioneer in this. And then, of course, Andrew Garfield, who carried it on in the next two. Hey.
Yeah.
And now Tom Holland, who's completed his first trilogy. We'll find out if there's more with Tom Holland right here. Welcome and wow. I have to say right off the bat, did any of you have any idea that this movie would have the impact that it's had around the globe beyond all expectations, I think, even for Spider-Man? I mean, Tom, did you, having just done the third one now?
I mean, I think I always knew that this film would be loved around the world. I didn't think it would be quite as massive as it has been. You know, one of my favorite things to do at the minute is to go online and watch fans' reactions to you guys coming in. That one scene in particular, I don't think I could ever have imagined it being so well received by everyone. So no, I mean, I guess I had an idea that people would love this movie, but in no way, shape or form could I have thought it was going to be as big as it has been. And it's been, only the last couple of weeks have I sort of really come back to reality and come home and started to face real world problems. And it feels like we've been on some sort of really weird dream. It feels really strange.
Tobey and Andrew, I have to ask you though, how did you get involved? I mean, when they came to you, I can't imagine, Tobey, they said, "Oh, we want you to do Spider-Man again." What was it?
Yeah, I went and had a meeting with Amy and Kevin, Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige, and had talked about, they sort of just, teased it. I think Amy was like, "We'd love to talk to you, and you know what this is about." And I was like, "Okay, sure. Let's have a chat." And
I think with Amy, you're like, "No, I don't, Amy, no."
Yeah, no, I know. I was
Like, what?
Maybe you could just give me a little bit of information, but I don't know. I gotta say, I was intrigued immediately. Like in that conversation, the intention, the kind of love and celebration of these movies and what it meant, I think, to Amy and Kevin was apparent. And to me, when artists or people who are steering the creative process have a kind of authentic, genuine intent of celebration and love, it just was so apparent in both of them that, I don't know, I just wanted to join that. And I'm a big fan of Tom and those movies and Andrew, so it was definitely intriguing. But yes, I was also going, well, what are we going to do? And that was a bit mysterious. I did appreciate what was shared, but it was really about getting together with these people and revisiting, what was part of my history and getting a chance to like come together. And there are personal things too, which are kind of resolutions or a way to revisit and I'm not quite sure how to put it. It's just to get back into that, and I don't want to say like close the chapter, but revisit and have certain resolutions, and just join in this like loving creative spirit.
So for you, what was it like going back?
Well, I was just waiting to see if Tobey was going to do it, and if Tobey was going to do it, and I was like, well, I have no choice. I follow Tobey to the ends of the earth. I'm a lemming for Tobey. But that was sincerely a big part of it. When I was approached about it, and again in a similar way to what Tobey was saying, it was like, oh, the intention feels very pure here. It actually feels like a great creative idea and a great creative story. It wasn't like they were just asking us to come and say hi and then leave again, but actually have our presence being in service to Tom. Being in service to Tom's journey and where he is as Peter Parker, and how I love the destiny feeling of the multiverse expanding in this film, and actually that without Tobey's Peter and Andrew's Peter being present for Tom's Peter at this very moment. He may not become the Peter Parker that he's supposed to become. I love that there's and that maybe he would have lost his girlfriend, and that maybe he would have gone down a darker path if Tobey hadn't have given him that kind of mentorship moment, that better angel kind of moment. So it was those things. I get chills thinking about it even now. So for me, it was like, and it's the same kind of judgment call with any script or any film. It's like, is this a story worth telling, and do I want to work with these people? And it was a big double kind of capitalized yes, and then it exceeded my expectations, because the way that Tom and Zendaya and Jacob are as a trio is just like a kind of magical heaven kind of friendship, and then so welcoming of me and Tobey into the gang. And then the way that Tom works with John Watts and Kevin and Amy, it's like, it's very open, it's very free. And so Tobey and I felt not only welcomed, but actually given lots of permission to play and to kind of find our way into being of service to Tom's story in this way. And it was just a kind of joyful few weeks that we all got to spend together, that it went the way that it went, which was a brotherhood, which is just beautiful.
It was very daunting because we were a long way into shooting before you guys showed up. You know, we were maybe 3 months into principal photography, and you know, the date of the other Spider-Mans are coming was etched on my calendar, and I was getting closer and closer and closer. And, you know, the closer and closer I got, the more and more nervous I was. And then as soon as I met you guys in Atlanta, I realized I had nothing to be nervous about. But at our first rehearsal, I had asked Jacob and Zendaya to come with me, to just kind of be there as like my support system. Like, I'm going to go meet these guys. I'm really nervous about it. We have to read the scene, and I don't know how this is going to go, because we're all playing the same character and we all have to bring our own kind of heart and soul into this. And, you know, it means a lot to them and it means a lot to me. Does it mean the same? So Jacob and Zendaya were there on that first day. But I think it was really strange and almost a little unfair how they had us put the suits on and then just jump around in front of a camera together. Like, that was one of the most bizarre experiences of my life. And again, Jacob and Zendaya were there for that, to support me. But it was an amazing experience. And from day one, it was a roller coaster that I didn't want to get off. And it was a lot of fun. And like you said, Andrew, like, it was so collaborative. It was so playful. You know, from you cracking Tobey's back to you coming up with the idea of pointing at us, like, it was all stuff that we came up with on the day. And it was just a lot of fun to be able to play with 3 guys in Spider-Man suits. It was a strange experience, but one that I won't ever forget.
Yeah, you know, and how did you guys keep this a secret?
You had the worst of it though, Andrew. Because you were doing press for months. Yeah, like
out there, man. I'm like out there, and everyone's like, "Why is Andrew Garfield on a press tour just denying Spider-Man? Like these other 2 films?" I'm like, dudes, like look at this stuff. So yeah, no, I definitely think I had the hardest time.
You had the worst part of it, yeah.
Thrust into the world just like coincided with having to lie for the sake of that audience reaction, I think. So, and I know, you know, I equate it to, like, you know, when you're organizing a surprise birthday party for someone that you love, and they keep saying, "Mate, just tell me, I hate surprises. You know I hate surprises," but deep down you know they will love the surprise. I justified my ethical kind of like unethical lying behavior. I call it fibbing more than lying.
Right.
I kind of enjoyed it. It was quite fun, and it felt like a game of that game Werewolf or Mafia, where you know you're the werewolf and you have to convince everyone that you're not. So I kind of like turned it into a little bit of a game for myself. I don't know, and it did result in this kind of like, even though there were all these leaks and all this stuff happening, I think like there was enough doubt in everyone's mind going, "Oh God, what if it isn't? What if it isn't? What if they don't show up?" And then, so when we did, it kind of gave them that little bit of icing on top of an already incredibly deep. Like, I watched the movie with Tobey for the first time and I was in pieces. Like, this is a deep movie. This isn't just fan service, which, you know, it partially is, but like, this is a movie that is about a coming of age, like an acceptance of loss, acceptance of death, taking responsibility for your gifts, and the like I was torn open by the journey that Tom went on, and that he was having to. It was just like having to split with his girlfriend and his best friend and sacrifice that in order. It's classic Peter Parker, but it felt totally fresh and totally reimagined. Like his origin, like Tom's origin story was happening in his third movie rather than his first. Like there's something so profound. So the film, I feel, stands alone without me and Tobey showing up. I hope we enhance it, but like I think John and Tom have made just something actually that is exceptionally moving, especially for young people. You know, I think it's a beautiful film.
I have to ask you, Tobey, I'm sure people are wondering, so what was it like? These costumes, the costume designs, it's, you know, iconic. What was it like getting back into that suit?
Well, you know, once you get through the process of, you know, really peeling it onto your body, it was, I don't know, a lot of things. It was uncomfortable getting it on, and then it's a goof, and then it also has a sort of you know, I guess a sort of a power in a sense, because it brings me back into that character. It really does. There's so much affinity for this character. It means so much to so many people that, you know, once the sort of goofiness of being in lycra or spandex, you know, once that goes away, you're like, oh wow, this is cool. This is that sort of a responsibility, but a blessing, like something that I get to do that I'm grateful for. And so that was fun. But honestly, like being with these guys, it really was just a much richer experience than I anticipated, or that I could really even express in words. I know that's not the question about the suit, but the suit is, it just, to get to be there with these guys in their suits, and whether it was like dancing around or playing around in scenes and improving, or you know, feeling that kind of sense of service to each other, and the character being in service to humanity, it really gives a certain perspective. And then the kind of trust and openness that I had with these guys, and John and Amy and everyone, it just brought this really open, I don't know, I just felt super safe, and like we were all on the same team and all in support of each other. And it just brought out this yeah, I don't know how to put it other than just like this really loving, fun, creative experience that I was just like sitting in gratitude every day, which is not always the case when you're working on something, you know, even just from the standpoint of like trying to figure out what you're doing, and it wasn't without its challenges, but it all just unfolded the way it needed to, or whatever. Just, it had a sense of this kind of destiny to it as well. So I guess the suit was the doorway to that.